Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to this away day guide. Before we get stuck in to Doncaster away, if you're going, let us know in the chat. We would love to know it. And of course, if you are going, we want pictures, people. Pictures of the ground, the beer, the food, the places, all of that jazz. Get them sent in. DM or email at homedressingroom89 at gmail.com. Before we go any further, obviously, this has been a busy week for the platform. Thank you all for sticking with us. We got last night's show. It took a wild turn with Callie and Ben. Callie thinks we're going to finish fourth even. That's all I'm going to say on that one. It's well worth your time. And of course, we've got a certain person. What was his name? Oh, crumbs. Oh, James Norwood. You might have heard of him. He is available to watch on this platform for fans, by fans. But now we switch it up. We come to the away day guide, and you may know who the actual host of this away day guide is. You may not know who the actual host of this away day guide is, but I've not played her intro in a long time. You can catch us on all good podcast platforms, but it is, of course, the Queen of Hearts, Amy Downs. The mantra of every single away day: bang, beep, in on. Amy.
Somebody liked a tweet that I sent ages ago. Today, I got a notification to say they'd liked my tweet, which said "bang effing on." I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's
Maybe I never really got where you picked that up from, but I do
you
say
said
it quite a lot.
You said on when I was trying to do the intro, some of the intros like Nils have got a bit at the end where he goes, "We're fucking rubbish." I had a bit for you for Christmas that said "bang fucking on," but I couldn't grab it without there being music on top. So that's what I came up with as a thing. I wanted to end your intro with "bang fucking on." We're Ipswich Town. It's what you said. It's about the shirt being revealed, I think, actually, at the time. But great to have you with us again. I tried to rope you into last night's show, but you're sadly busy. We do need some Amy opinions.
Oh, yeah, I haven't given you opinions much lately, have I?
No, the platform is much poorer without you, but we're obviously here for your show. It's half an hour away day guys with Amy, because she goes everywhere, or she used to certainly go everywhere, but nowadays she's very selective. So if you do see her at away day, say hi. I think she drinks cider or gin, but normally it's anything with an alcohol content above 4%.
Exactly. I was going to say it depends if it's pre or post match. If it's pre-match, a nice pint of cider would be lovely. If it's post-match, and we've probably lost because I'm there, then a large glass of white wine will be needed.
You say we've probably lost because you're there. Are you a bad omen?
Oh my god, I haven't seen us win since Tranmere away, which is now over 2 years ago. It was January 2020. Just before the pandemic.
So if we
obviously we've had the pandemic in there, so it's a little bit unfair, but
if we see you in the car park, we might as well fuck off home, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I wouldn't bother with Donny away, to be honest,
Go
because
to
I'm
the
not
pub?
going to miss that
Are you
one.
going?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't been to a Tuesday night match for years, because we don't tend to get them up here. But Donny's such an easy one for me to drive to, so it'll be an unusual one for me because I won't be drinking. I'll be driving. So yeah, I didn't want to miss it. Haven't been to Donny for a while because the dates just haven't fallen right, as we'll see when we look at previous games. There's been like Boxing Days and stuff like that, so I haven't been able to go. I think another one I was on holiday as well, so it happens, doesn't it? Life gets in the way. But yeah, I'm definitely going on Tuesday, so who knows, I could be the one that causes a problem.
So I want pictures. All right, we want pictures.
Absolutely.
We want pints, beer and points. We've got Adam Blamplate, YouTube member in the chat. We've got Nick Muller, Mike Baker, Colin Plum, the GOAT, Ben Moore and Ben King, who thinks Rochdale was last Tuesday night game for you, Miss Amy Downs.
Oh, well remembered. Yes, Rochdale on Bonfire Night.
He's on it.
We watched the fireworks over the back of the stadium.
Yes.
I'm sure we won that one, but that must have been pre-Tranmere. Good old Ben. He does remember my whereabouts pretty well.
Nick said, I saw you there. There you go. So if you do see Amy, say hello. We want plenty of pictures of your away day visit. Next 7 days are pretty crucial, actually, for the season. Obviously, this Saturday's Gillingham. That's at home. Then Donny, and then MK Dons. We'll do MK Dons next week. But particularly Doncaster, it could be a potential one to slip up on. How important is it that we don't in the next 7 days?
Oh, it's the last. What's the word? Last vestiges of hope, isn't it? If we get to next week and we haven't at least got 2 wins out of 3, then you've got to think, we've sort of passed any possibility. That small dim light at the end of the tunnel for playoffs, I think, it's got to be over if we haven't got. I'm never one to say maximum points, because you know there's something's bound to crop up that causes a draw, but I would like to see us certainly undefeated, and if we are really going to stake any claim on the playoffs, then we have to be showing ourselves to be doing well against these 2 teams. Donny have just got absolutely battered by Rotherham. I think it was Tuesday, wasn't it? So
yeah,
I know that we're not aiming for the automatics, but really we think of ourselves as being good enough too. When we, if we could be at our best, I think we should be challenging for automatics. So, even if we don't do it this year, now is when we're starting to stake our claim on next year, and this is where we need to start showing what we're capable of. What's Aston said? I think Amy's last 2 wins.
I think Amy's last 2 away wins. I was both sat next to you for Tranmere for a bit. We just found a cure for the away G?
Are you there on Tuesday, Aston? That is the question.
The goat can't make Doncaster do the work. Goat, that's a shame. Nick said, never give up. Till it's over. But let's just look at the previous matches against Doncaster. We may be happy, we may be sad. Wrong button. Do apologise. There it is. Going on the previous games, last 5, actually only 1 defeat. That fills me with a whole lot of confidence all of a sudden.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty good record there, and there's some pretty high scoring games as well. There is somewhere in there. There's a 4-1 League Cup win as well. Did we get that one? Oh yeah, there. So that's
right at the end. So we've scored 16 goals, conceded 3 out of 5. That's pretty phenomenal. Obviously in 2021 we won 2-1 and 6-0. Obviously Lee Evans' big game there. The Lee Evans game, as we'll christen it. But only 1 defeat. Are you surprised when you see that those last 5 results? Because I've always considered Doncaster a tricky game for us.
Not really, because Donny, I know they've sort of been playoffs or thereabouts for the last few seasons, haven't they? But they always struggle. They're never sort of like really confidently at the top of the league or anything like that. My husband is from Donny, and his family, a lot of them support Donny. So whenever we, start the season, or whenever I see them over the season, every single time they're like, "Oh, Ipswich are doing all right, aren't they?" I'm like, "No, we're absolutely shite." And then they're like, "Yeah, okay, we're just as bad." And they're always really down on Donny and just don't seem to have much hope of getting anywhere, bless them. So for me, it wasn't all that much of a surprise. And I think within there, I'm pretty sure there's a season when they went down to League 2 within that graphic. And obviously this year they're really struggling as well. So last year, I'm sure they were up in the playoffs. So it's an up and down one. But we seem to also it's not far to travel, is it? From Ipswich. So I kind of feel like even though it's an away journey, it's not too much stress on the players, I would imagine. So that I wonder if we enjoy playing at Keepmoat. I don't know, although it's not Keepmoat anymore. We'll talk about that in a bit.
What? Yeah, we will. So it's not the Keepmoat anymore. Wow. Okay, that's through me. I'm just looking at the Google map because you just said it's not that much of a journey, but where I'm thinking actually, do you know what? I think it is. Let's have a quick butchers. Doncaster.
About 3 hours, I reckon.
All right, we'll get to that in a minute. Eco Power. 2.5. Well.
There you go.
3 hours 51. I mean, what do you mean? We're on about
3 hours 51. Are you driving at 30 miles an hour, Martin?
I mean, what are you talking about here, Amy? It's not too bad of it. Look at that.
I'm Googling it myself now.
That's shocking.
There's no way it's 3 hours.
Well, it's either
3 hours.
It's either 3 hours via the A1, A14, or it's nearly 4 hours if you just simply go A1. I mean, I'm not quite sure why anybody would go this route here. Down to Colchester, Chelmsford, around the M25, and then up. I mean, that just seems like you're kind of redundantly adding more time. Do you know what I mean? Let's just take on the sites of Watford and St Albans first. Said
Mine
nobody
is
ever.
showing me a route through via like Ely, Thetford, just above north of Ely, past Boston. So that's another option if you want a bit of a scenic route on just flat land for as
Through
far as you can
Grantham. I know
see.
a great budgie breeder at Grantham. I could stop off and get a couple of quality pairs of birds. That is, people, of birds. Keep your minds out of the gutter. But yeah, Adam said I went from Yarmouth to Bradford last year. Didn't take too long. Yarmouth to Bradford. I want to look that up on the Google map.
Well, that's past me, and that's past Yarmouth, past Ipswich. I don't know. It's not only can't be much further.
It's on the old
east.
coastage, isn't it? It's on the coastage.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right, there we go.
Adam had his pedal to the metal there.
Didn't take too long. 5 hours nearly in some cases, Adam. Good grief. Anyway, so this is the beauty of doing things
But
live,
in
Amy.
comparison to, we've just been to Wigan, we've just been to Bolton, we've got Morecambe away. Planning is underway at the moment, so I can't blooming wait for that. Morecambe, I dread to think how. I believe Ant is driving up the day before so that he doesn't have to drive on the day, because I don't think you'd make it before the 3 o'clock kickoff. It's terrible. But yeah, is that the Morecambe one? Is it? How long's that? 5 hours.
God.
These people who go to every game, you're bonkers. You deserve a medal.
You absolutely do. Right. We do have a fun game to play, though. This is the bit I really enjoy. For those that are new here, Amy has players that have played for Ipswich and Doncaster at her disposal. I have to try and guess as many as I possibly can. She may throw a few clues out. Let us know in the chat how many players you think there are and if you can list them. But here is the little intro. Spider-Man looking at each other, right. How many are there?
So I have picked. I have had a message from Jim on Twitter. I know he's pretty sure he's quite what's the word? Regular follower of the show. So he has messaged me to show me a trick for how to search for both teams, for players from both teams on Wikipedia. So I'm going to be using that from now on rather than having to research it myself individually. So thank you ever so much for saving me all that time.
Amy, make sure you let me know what it is. I want to know.
No, you're not allowed to, because you have to remember them from your own head. Using that trick, we have found 26 players, which is balmy. But as he pointed out, some of them have been at the club but not actually played. So that is a bit harsh. But really interesting to look through them. I pulled out 4. I've just spotted another one that I can't believe I missed. So there's quite a few in there, but I've pulled out 4 that I thought I could give you some clues to guess. But the first one, it was the one that I knew straight away, and because I've sent you over a picture of him.
Yep.
So I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks. If anybody can think of any players who have played for both club, let's get this going and see who can remember what.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we will kick you off with the first one. Who I met when I was on work experience at Donny Rovers, and I interviewed him.
You really? Oh, yeah, you did actually. I've got a picture of it. I say, did you really? I'm just looking at the picture, aren't I? Here it is. That's never you.
I know, that was back in I think it was 2010.
20. Jeez.
Crazy.
How old are you there? Don't mind me asking. I know you should never ask their age, but how old are you there?
I would have been mid-20s, 26, I think I was.
Wow.
So I had me really short bob. Richard Naylor is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He's an absolute sweetie. So the press officer there at Donny knew that I was an Ipswich fan, and I actually started my work experience placement with them just after we'd beaten them 6-0 at their place when Connor Wickham scored his hat-trick. Nice. So he almost cancelled the work experience because he said, no, you're not allowed to come. But I had a really lovely time there, and he, within the first week, set me up an interview with Richard Naylor, who hadn't long been at the club. As it turned out, he was only there for 6 months, which I hadn't realised. But he set me up this interview to do for the programme. And I got Richard talking about the playoffs. So was like, so what was your highlight of your career? Like, totally leading question. He was wonderful. He chatted for ages. And then I said, as Colin has just raised too, I said to Richard, so do they know about your nickname? And he just looked at me and he goes, no, that hasn't followed me up here yet. And I was like, well, it's about to.
Oh, there you go.
So I put Bam Bam in the program. So whether that got picked up, I'm not sure. But we had a little bit of banter over that, and he was a sweetie. He was a really, really, really lovely guy. And I remember when I was at Talking Town, you're Talking Town, Town 102, back when I was in journalism. He was the club captain at Ipswich. I think that was under the Roy Keane era. And so we had Gareth. I'm pretty sure it was because Joe Royal was Joe Royal was while I was at uni, so I think it was it was the Jim Magilton, Joe Royal at Roy Keane era.
Keane.
We had Gareth McCauley as the team captain, and Bam Bam was the club captain, so he was like the club ambassador, and he was wonderful. He was such a nice guy back then. They're Richard Naylors and the Matt Hollands of the world. They're just so professional, but also just really nice guys, aren't they?
Yeah,
so
they are.
Richard Naylor is my absolute favourite from this game, but there are a few others. So have you managed to think of any?
Well, got Facebook users saying
wow.
my first work experience was working alongside Alan Ferguson as a groundsman. As a 15-year-old was brilliant. Met all the players. That's
amazing.
Epic. I've actually got 6, but I've got 4. I've got Paul Green.
Okay.
Richard Naylor.
Yep.
Fraser Richardson.
Okay.
I thought Billy Clark might have played for us and Doncaster, but I might be wrong on that one.
Ooh.
Richie Wellens and Ibrahim Sonko. That's who I've got.
So Richie Wellens I had as well. From the 4 that I'd picked out to talk about. I'm pretty sure you're right with all of them. Billy Clark's a great shout.
I don't know if he did it. I can see him, but I don't know if he's playing for Doncaster. That's the only thing that I'm not sure. I know he did a little bit of a northern tour, didn't he? After he left us, he went to Blackpool for starters. But Doncaster,
Fraser Richardson's there.
Might not have been. I'm just looking at Billy Clark now.
He's not on my Wikipedia list.
No, he didn't play for Doncaster. I am wrong about Billy Clark. He did play for Bradford, though. That's probably where that's coming in. But okay, so Richard Naylor.
So you got Naylor. Of the 4 that I picked out, you've got Naylor and Wellens. So I thought of 2 others.
Got 2 others. Crumbs.
One is a striker, and the other one, and the other one is a defender. So the first one, I think you'll kick yourself. It's a bit of a hard one, really, because he was only on loan at Donny. So he went on loan at Donny, and then he came to us permanently afterwards, the year afterwards, and he was playing for us in 2011.
2011, on loan at Doncaster, came to not Richard Stearman. I don't know. Well, who is it?
He was on loan from a really big club, and when he came to us, all of their fans were saying, "You've got a really great young talent here."
And we fucked it up as always.
Well, yeah, but I think it was probably more down to him. There was a lot of question around the effort that he was putting in and whether he was fit enough. I will always remember him for scoring against Barnsley at home, I think it was, when it got called off. Scotland's a great shout. That's another one. That's a really good one. But that isn't who I was referring to.
Scoring at home when Mowbray was in charge of Middlesbrough with the frozen pitch. Is that what you're talking about? That's it.
That rings a bell. Yes, I think.
Where Sonko broke his ribs.
Yeah. I'm sure it was that one. I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Sonko broke his ribs that day.
I can't remember if he scored or if he just had a really brilliant game, and it was just sod's law that he finally had a good game.
Do you know, the more you talk, the less I understand.
Okay, so his surname is double-barreled, and we usually refer to him with his 3 initials.
So now I'm thinking it's KVY. That's all I'm thinking now. KVY. I don't know. Tell me, who is it?
And he came to us from Arsenal. I can't believe nobody's
Not
got
J.
this.
Emmanuel Thomas.
Yes. There we go.
He's not a defender. He's a striker.
I said he was a striker.
Oh,
The other
I was
one's
doing.
a defender.
I
Oh,
was
sorry.
doing
That's me.
I was doing the defender.
I did
That's
the
why
striker
I was
first.
thinking.
Oh, bless you. That's my fault.
Right. No, it's fine. J. Emmanuel Thomas, you're absolutely right. We've got loads of people in the chat here. Ben Moore, Facebook user, Blue Af Boy. They've all come through. Suddenly, when I needed you, where were you?
It was when I said Arsenal. That was when it all popped up. Colin, I'm not doing MK Dons because I think it's the worst freaking away game ever. So no way am I coming down for that one.
So I'm not even doing it.
We'll talk about that one next week. Okay, so the defender was on loan to us in 2011, and then he went on loan to Donny in 2013 before signing for them permanently a year later.
Irvin, Borough fans weren't happy when we were saying to them we'd be home by 4 p.m. I bet they weren't. I remember that game clear as day, you know. I still do remember that game. They had the covers over and all. Yeah, it was you know.
I'd driven down from Barnsley. I was absolutely fuming.
I bet you were. Yeah, I was. No, you've only driven down half an hour. So he was on loan at us in 2011, then Donny in 2013, then signed for Donny in 2013.
Yeah.
Well, I've already said Fraser Richardson, Ben, so can't be Fraser Richardson because Amy would have said it was Fraser Richardson. Danny Higginbotham.
No, but I love that name.
Yeah, so do I. Don't know why he suddenly come to my head. Any more clues?
He came to us on loan from Man City.
Simpson, is it? No, not still. That can't be Simpson. He plays for Leicester now. He would never go to Doncaster, would he? No, still nothing.
Trying to think what era. 2011, would that have been Roy Keane?
Yeah, that was a massive era to forget. Like, just
I know that's why it's such a struggle.
Just flush
and also
it
the
and
fact
move
it was
on.
Loans for both clubs. When it's a loan for us, I think we have so blooming many.
Wabara, says Ben. Great shout. Reese Wabara. No way. Reese Wabara. He went to Doncaster. Oh, what a great shout, Benny Moore. Reese Wabara. Top work, Ben.
Yeah.
I never would have got that in a month of Sunday. He didn't play for us hardly at all, did he, Reese Wabara? I mean, I remember him coming on loan, but Reese Wabara. I'm gonna look him up now. Here he is.
I was just thinking the same thing.
He's now a businessman. He's only 30. 6 games for Town. 6 games for Town. No wonder I didn't remember him. Please, Guv, what? Ask me the question, Colin, and I will tell you no lies, my man. Right. So that's that. Let us know if you've got anybody else in the chat, or if you're watching it back, let us know in the comments. But yeah, I've massively sort of scored an own goal this week. Like that wasn't great at all, was it? That really wasn't. Where would you like to take your guide next, Mrs. Down?
Shall we move away from putting you on the spot, and we will move into next Tuesday? Let's start talking about where we're going and what we're going to be doing. So let's have a look at the ground.
Oh, the ground. Okay, I've got an intro for that. So the ground. What is it now? I will make one for next week.
Building up for some real smooth interaction there.
I will make one for next week.
I'm only kidding. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure you had the chance to show the lovely new graphics.
But it helps me when I'm doing chapters for the show, which helps the guys and girls when they're out on the road or at the stadium or wherever to suddenly think, oh, they said about a couple of pubs. Let's look it up. Then we've got to crawl through me trying to struggle to get Reese Wabara.
Did you want me to do like a big wave like this, so that when you're scanning through later, this is the bit you need to do a chapter on?
This is the bit. Do the chapter here. Right. What is it called now? Because it was the Keep Moat.
So it used to be the Keep Moat. As far as I knew, it already was, but it still was. But on double checking the directions today, it is now Eco Power. So I presume it's a new sponsor. Also, I don't know what's happened to Keep Moat. You don't see them around quite so much, do you? So
Eco Power.
Yeah.
Something else.
Political correctness gone mad.
No, I just had enough of it today because all I keep hearing about is should we drop the green levy? So I'm at that point of the day where I'm like, just anything eco, get out of my face. But You know.
So you'll be the fact that I'm driving and not taking the train, and I'm contributing to the
Yes, the carbon footprint. I've absolutely no
exactly.
problem. You know, eco power is the way we've got to be going. But today of all days,
Just not in the mood for it today.
with the energy hike and all that jazz, you know, then I'm going to pay like 150 quid more a year. Yeah, it can get in the bin. How?
So the ground itself, I really like. It is very much one of those modern sort of like bowls. It hasn't got. It's just a round stadium. I really like it, but I do appreciate that a lot of people prefer the old ones that have a bit more character. The Rotherham ground, the New York stadium, was modelled on this. So if you've been to both, you'll know
Was
they
it?
are a carbon copy of each other. Yeah, when I was on work experience, they had somebody coming into the press box to look at all the techie stuff to work out how they'd set it up so that they could go and
Really?
do it at Rotherham. So yeah, it literally, I'm not sure if it was the same company, but I'm pretty sure it was, and it was all like modelled. When you go to Rotherham on Good Friday and you think, oh my god, this is exactly the same as Doncaster, it's like, yeah, it is exactly the same as Doncaster. So or if you've been to Rotherham, then you know what to expect at Donny, because it's exactly the same. But it's a nice ground and it is really easy to get to driving.
Courtesy the Football Tripper website. That's the stadium, right?
Yep, it's part of what they call the Lakeside Complex. So that little ground, the training ground in front, that's where Donny Bells play.
Oh, okay.
So that's used quite a lot. Then you can see they've got the lake behind. There's some really posh flats and things like that. There's a bowling
I
alley
bet
the
the
other
wind rips
side.
off that lake, though, doesn't it? A bit in the middle of winter.
Yeah,
That
blooming
be cold.
cold,
Yeah, I bet it is.
blooming cold.
But you're right.
And
It's like a poor
that
man's Derby
building,
County, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's really like, it is really similar to lots of other grounds. And the building that was on the right-hand side is the Lakeside Shopping Centre. Go and get yourself. There's like a Next warehouse. There's a Clark's, so cheap Clark's shoes.
They're a Primark.
As Aston pointed out to me earlier, there is a Cadbury's shop. So guess where are we going before the game?
Ooh.
You can get like massive bags. They call them, I think they call them Misfits. So it's the chocolates that have missed the wrappers in the machine. So they haven't got anything that hasn't got wrappers or is a bit bust up. So rather than throwing it away, they put it into these bags that are like £3 and they're about
Nice.
this big of just
And that's that
Cadbury's
building.
chocolates. That's that one on the
Yeah.
right-hand side over on the far. So you'd access that sort of like before you get to the ground, and is an option for parking.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. So you got Cadbury's where they'd sell the Misfits. That sounds quite exciting. A big
What
Next
have we
warehouse.
become?
Old.
Aston's decided he prefers modern grounds. We're getting excited about getting chocolate at an away game.
Yeah.
We are all
no.
getting too old.
We are sadly all getting too old. Yes, that's normally the way of the life. But I'm just looking at Pride Park. It's very much. Let me see if I can just show you what I'm looking at on the screen. Pride Park literally is almost a replica.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact it's got metal beams. So as I say, definitely a poor man's Pride Park. So
yeah, and Pride Park is a lot bigger. I don't know what their capacity is, but theirs is a much better ground. Donny is 15,000 capacity, I believe.
Not bad for a club of their size.
Their first game there was 2007, so it's a fairly new one. It's not been around very long. So
all right. So that's the stadium.
Yep.
Wrap up warm, particularly if with that lake, it might be cold.
It's bloody freezing up here at the moment. Wear layers. If it doesn't snow, I'll be surprised.
Well, it is up. Parking, right? You got the lakeside as you've just said there, but that might be chocker, particularly it's a Tuesday night. I don't know what the situation is there, but where else could the guys and girls park if they need to?
So there is, like we say, the Lakeside Shopping Centre. I don't know what the parking permits, whether you'd have to pay, how much you'd have to pay in the evening. But like you say, you'd probably be likely to get a spot because it's the evening, so all the shops will be shut. But there is also a lot of like industrial estates around the ground. Are you able to bring? I should have asked you this before the show. Sorry. Can you bring Keepmoat on Google Maps up for me, because I can show you where Luke's dad, my father-in-law, parks before the games. Which is worth knowing.
Do you mean on the Google Maps?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Absolutely
Just
not.
because as all football grounds do, it gets very, very busy around there on match day. So it's helpful just to know some other places to go. So I'm going to show you where I am aiming for, and then I'll show you my backup, which is the one that John suggested. Bless him.
I've just got to go to the Eco Power Stadium because obviously to keep note it says it doesn't exist. But there we go. Eco Power Stadium.
It's gone all dark. Yep. So, can you see there is so you come off, that's better. That's a lot easier, isn't it? So you'll come off the M18. So you go up the A1, junction 35, onto the M18, one junction up, junction 3. You literally just follow a main road down, and you will see signs for the stadium. So as you come up to the stadium, there is a car shop on the left hand side, that like the car shop company. If you pull off onto that, this is where my father-in-law parks, and there is an industrial estate basically, so you can park there. There is also, you can see here where it says junction 3 business park, there will be places to park there as well, so that's another option, and then you can just walk down that main road to get into the stadium.
What's the deal with these side streets, do you know?
They are all permits.
But are they permit till 8 or are they permit overnight, do you think?
Don't know the answer to that one, but I've never even needed to consider going there, but it's another option.
It is.
So the other one where I go is you come left and you go down the, what is that, A6182.
Yeah.
So rather than going straight onto the stadium, you turn left and you can see that roundabout there where it says Evans Howshaw.
Yep.
There's an Evans Howshaw garage on your left. If you turn right at that roundabout, you'll see a load of other car garages where my beautiful i10 was bought that I had to get rid of when I got pregnant because it's too small for 2 car seats. I was absolutely devastated to lose her. I'd had her since she was born. But yeah, there's along
the
there.
Car. Get over it.
She was so special to me. But along there, there's loads of places to park as well. I know that's where I've parked when I've been to evening games there before.
Yeah. You could park at the Dome as well, I think.
You can. That's a bit more of a walk. I'd be because that's the other side of the lake.
Mackey's, TGI Fridays, Duncan. Look at this.
Parking free over there as well.
There's parking. Look.
Yep.
That ain't far from the stadium either.
No, that would be quite a nice walk across the lake. Just swim over, it'll be fine.
It looks quite, for those that haven't gone. For those that have gone, let us know in the comments if you're watching this back or in the live chat what your suggestions are to your fellow town fan. But it looks like it's actually in a really good place for parking, in the sense of it's a built-up sort of area.
Yeah.
There'll be places. Just watch out for obviously charges, permits. Keep your eyes and ears open. The Dome, as a side note, that's where the Budgerigars Society has their major show.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. I've got the thing come through today. Spring event, the Dome, Doncaster. Yeah. BS World Championship show, the Dome, Doncaster. Has been for about 30 years. Yeah. I've never been. So now I know where it is. I might go to it. But
you'll have to let me know. Me and Luke will show you the delights of Doncaster.
Is there any?
No. We'll get to that when we talk about where to drink.
We might need this. One we're really interested in, right?
Always my favourite part.
Where are we either celebrating 3 points or drowning our sorrows?
So there isn't a lot near the stadium. The stadium is out on the edge of the town, which does make it a little bit of a pain. So if you're coming in by train or you want to go drinking in the town beforehand, just get a cab. It's a lot easier. I believe that's what we did the time that we went into town. There's your normal Wetherspoons walkabouts. I had a fabulous night after the final away game of the season, which began at walkabouts in Doncaster. I'm not really sure where it went after that, but I know it started at walkabouts. So, well, the town is like any normal town, really. You'll find pubs there. I do remember a really nice one with a friend, but I can't remember what it was called. And honestly, it probably isn't still the same anymore. So
only a half-hour walk, which isn't that bad, but it's not the town.
It's like along main roads and stuff. It's not. Me and my mates have a bit of a thing. If it's more than 10 minutes, we just get a cab. So
yeah, I mean, you could go to the other Doncaster.
Delights of Donny, trust me, no.
But yeah, I think a cab would probably be the easiest one. But then, dope burger. That sounds good. Look at that, boys and girls. Oh, look at the burgers. That's epic. Somebody,
God,
if
I'm
you
totally
do,
gonna
if you do,
Tuesdays to
if
do a
you
picture.
do go to Donny, check, and you do happen to check out Dope Burger, please send me some pictures of that bad boy because that looks right up my very basic culinary expertise. Oh, sorry, we're getting distracted. Google Maps.
We
Who
are a
thought it'd be
bit.
so fun? Dope Burger.
New feature on the Away Day show. Amy and
Like
Martin
pronto.
look at Google Maps.
It's like when you get the pizza places, they're always called Pronto Pizza.
Yeah.
Pronto. Like, why are they calling it Pronto? Brilliant. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
But there is a pub near the ground. It's a Beefeater. I actually don't know what it's called, but it is
Bottomless
in
chips.
that lakeside complex, so actually quite a handy to park there and go to that pub. That's where I suspect I will be going. I'm just waiting on Mr. Steele to tell me where he's going to be going once he gets into Donny. So yeah, that'll be where most Ipswich fans are. That's where most away fans go. So it's the Beefeater just on the corner of the lakeside complex, and then literally the ground is a 5-minute walk around the corner.
Yes, there, look.
Designated away fans. They have bouncers on the door, but they're really friendly. So nice place. Nice. We've had some fun times there, and like you say, good for popping back for a quick one afterwards to let the traffic go.
Yeah, 6-minute walk from the Beefeater with its bottomless chips and beer to the Keep Moat Stadium. Well, what was the Keep Moat Stadium? So that's not too bad. Do they still do bottomless chips at Beefeaters?
I've no idea. I haven't been to one for years.
I have to look it up now. Keep talking about
again.
the pubs.
I will find out because I think I'm going to go for have a nice civilized meal before the game, seeing as it's not going to be a rush on Jaeger shots this time for this away game. I might treat myself to a posh meal at Beefeater.
So as of when was this article? As of some point, a year ago, all main meals still come with bottomless chips, skinny fries, or chunky triple cooked chips. That was a year ago. Hopefully, they still do it. Best thing about going to a Beefeater, that is bottomless chips. Like, just bring more chips, more chips, more chips. I'm not the guy out of Afterlife.
What else do you need after driving for 4 hours up from Ipswich to Doncaster?
3 points.
Well, this is true. Which brings us on nicely to the final section of the show, doesn't it?
It does, which is what?
Score predict. I'd like to end on us trying to figure out what we think we're going to do. We've been a very laid back show today, haven't we?
This is your gig. I'm literally. I don't know what's next. As much as a surprise to me, it's the people at home. I don't know.
You said to me earlier about Amy's the real presenter of this show. I was like, oh God, don't put that on me.
I literally don't know what order we're doing anything in. Like when you say, right, let's move on to, I'm like, well, I've got no more intro graphics, so.
That's why I was just checking. We've done so well. We're such a smooth team, aren't we?
Robert Grimsey, where's the local beef in Ipswich? It is by the ski slope. It is by the ski slope. It is.
Do you know what? This whole show has been about food.
Well, I'm going downstairs.
We've not even mentioned McDonald's new offering.
Chicken, the chicken Big Mac. Yeah, I'm tempted.
Very excited to try it.
I am tempted. I will be brutally honest. McDonald's is not normally for me, but this is appealing to my inner pig. It is. Like, right after this show, literally, I'm going to go downstairs and have about 3-4 homemade cookies. I'm just going to stuff myself silly, I think. Night off, so why not? Sounds good. Sounds might have a beer as well. Might treat myself.
Nearly the weekend.
Absolutely. Colin says, how's the children, Amy?
Oh, yeah, they're really good actually. Thank you. I've got both of them at home tomorrow. Fun times because Harry's on a teacher training day. So we're off to a music group and then we're off around my best mates for a bit of a play date for lunch. So that will be a nice Friday for me. And then on Saturday I've got bottomless brunch, bottomless prosecco at the Sky Lounge in Leeds. So I'm paying my penance tomorrow and getting my reward on Saturday.
Bottomless prosecco. That's dangerous. Watch out social media because here Amy comes. Right, score predictions then for Donny. Obviously, Gillingham may affect things, injuries, suspensions, but as all things stand right now, all things considered, what do you expect it to be, Miss Amy Downs?
I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it by being there, and I don't want to jinx it by saying what I'm expecting. But it's got to be 3 points, hasn't it? It's got to be. Like we were saying before, with staking our claim. If we really want to be serious about this league, these are the games we've got to be winning. It would be nice to have these next 2 games as a win as well, to sort of put the defeats that we have had down as it happens. We're not going to win every game. We'll learn from it. Like, especially Sheffield Wednesday, I think that was a bit disappointing, wasn't it? So it'd be nice to turn it round now and say, right, well, come on, this is us. This is who we are. And definitely having a high scoring win, as Adam and Robert are both guessing. And Ben as well. We've got lots of high scorers there.
6-0,
And
5-1.
Ben's just suggested Bond getting 2 goals, which I would love to see as well.
I would.
Nice chance for him to get on the score sheet, actually, isn't it? For all of them, really. Just surely this is our chance to show how good we can be. And
I think so.
I think it's got to be 6 points out of the next, maybe even 9 out of the next 3, really, hasn't it?
I think you're absolutely right. I've just noticed, courtesy of this Football Tripper site, that apparently Doncaster have an on-site car park which is quite generous in about 1,000 spaces. Price is £5. Disabled fans advised to reserve a space in advance. So there you go. So quite a range actually because sometimes we're looking at these away day guys thinking parking. Well, you might be able to park at the train station 10 miles away in the next city away. But
exactly,
not bad actually this week. I'm looking forward to it. But I think you're absolutely right. It needs to be a win. Gillingham, Doncaster, going into next Thursday's away day with plenty of points, plenty of pride, plenty of passion, and momentum. That big word, big momentum.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to be sat here with you discussing MK being a big game.
Yeah. What would be really nice is by the time we record MK Don's away show, we're like, oh, it's fine because we've got 6 points out this week already. And like you say, keeping the momentum going, it would be lovely. Robert, have you not seen me at away games? Morecambe away, we are getting in at 10 o'clock in the morning. It is going to be classic. It's brilliant. I'm leaving here at 8. It's going to be.
And now she's found Vicky as well.
Actually,
it's like the two of them together, Tasmanian Devils. But anyway, we are back next Thursday.
Is that Colin saying he thinks we're going to lose 3-0?
No, he's doing it in a
home away.
Yeah, that's Colin.
I love it.
He's always on the money, is old Cole. Right, we're back next Thursday for the big one, really. The 7,000 fans going to MK. We're back 7:30. Join us then. We try and stick to half an hour, but we've gone over today because of McDonald's and bottomless brunches. And what was that place called? I've forgotten the name already. Something
Dope Burger.
Dope Burger. That's right. Yeah. Big up the Dope Burgers. Love it. Right. I'm off to look at their menu, I think. I wonder if they do Uber Eats.
I'm sure it'll still be toasty by the 4-hour drive is over.
just probably microwave it, that's all. Anyway, right, we're done. We're dusted. Lead us out, Miss Downs.
And as always, if you are going next Tuesday, do tag Talking Town in any posts that you put on social media. Share some pictures. We'd love to see them, and we'll show them on next week's show. I will be sharing pictures from me being there. I will remember to, I promise, because I will be sober for once. And if you do see me there, give me a shout, give me a wave. I'd love to see you. I've been meeting lots and lots of Talking Town people this season, which has been lovely. And if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window.
Ooh.